All right, Robert Forbeck is with us from Daily Racing Form, getting ready for the Run for the Roses coming up on Saturday, and he'll break it down, give us the latest, and educate people for those who are out there who are not all that familiar with who's in the race and some of the favorites as well. Rob, thanks for coming on the show. It's great to have you.
My pleasure. It's obviously this is the biggest day of racing coming up in North America, in the world for that matter, right? So it's an exciting time for everyone at DRF and in the racing community. And this is the one time a year when casual sports fans and hardcore players alike all are concentrating on horse racing, right? So it's a big week for us.
Yeah, definitely. Can't wait till I like Friday's events too, as well. But Rob,
Yeah, for sure.
before we get to the Oaks and the Derby as well, obviously I am not 100% familiar with all of this stuff. Every year I lean on people like you to kind of tell me who's involved in the races. So before we begin, my understanding is there was a scratch, one of the horses this morning, Silent Tactic. I know you told our producer, so I looked it up and it looked like there was just some sort of mild injury here. So how does that factor into any of your handicap, and how does that factor into the field this week? What kind of horse was this?
Well, I mean, he was 20-1 morning line, so he was a long shot. Although a long shot that I thought actually had a chance to come in the exotics, maybe third, fourth, to complete your trifectas, superfectas. So he's out. That means Great White draws into the race. Might get some play there from some casual fans that like just like playing names and everything like that. But Renegade is the favorite in the race, and Silent Tactic was second to him in the Arkansas Derby last time out. So, I thought Silent Tactic had a chance. He's out, so gives Great White and those connections a chance to steal the glory. We've seen over the years, crazy things happen in this race, right? So, you never know. 20
All
horses.
right,
The only time these horses will ever run against a 20 horse field, right? So
right,
anything could
always.
happen.
Yeah, and Rob, I did see a story the other day, if I'm not mistaken, that Churchill Downs ended up buying the Preakness. I'm not sure if that was accurate. If you heard about that as well,
Yeah,
maybe you can
yeah.
expand on that exactly.
So they bought the intellectual rights to the Preakness, right? So
Okay.
Maryland, the state of Maryland, and the New Maryland Jockey Club are still going to run the events, conduct the races, handle all the operational
Gotcha.
aspects of it. It's just now Maryland is writing a check to Churchill Downs instead of First Racing. So really nothing is changing anytime in the immediate future with that. But you never know. There's TV media rights coming up in the next few years. There's a lot of conversation about adding an additional week between the Kentucky Derby and the Preakness, right? Right now, it's only 2 weeks between those two races, and then 3 weeks to the Belmont Stakes. In this day and age, horses usually space their races out, especially the good horses, much further than that. So there's a lot of thinking that if you add an additional week between the Derby and the Preakness, you'll get more horses to come back and run in the Preakness. Like, for example, Sovereignty last year won the Derby and did not come back and run in the Preakness,
Right.
right? And then he won the Belmont Stakes. So, and Sovereignty he probably would have won the Triple Crown if he would have run in the Preakness. So we'll see where that goes over the next 4 or 5 years.
Okay, so that is the big question, whether it's Renegade or another one of these horses. By the way, Renegade right now 4-1 to win the Kentucky Derby on Saturday. Rob, everyone wants to see the Triple Crown, so it's like, yes, this is the big event, and the Kentucky Derby is the signature one. But is there a horse in the field this year that can win all three? I think most people were more focused on the disappointment last year of Sovereignty not running and even attempting it.
Yeah, I mean, it was disappointing for the entire game and for the sporting world, right? I mean, there's nothing more exciting, at least in my opinion, than a possible Triple Crown winner. And he was such a standout horse. Um, he was the bus horse going into last year. I don't really know if there's one of those this year that you're like, man, this horse
Right.
could do it. Although a lot of them are lightly raced, so that they could come back in a shorter period of time. As you see there, I've been a big fan of Further Ado over the last couple of months. He ran a huge race in the Bluegrass Stakes at Keeneland in his last time at Churchill Downs, which to me is always important. He gets the outside 18 posts, which means he'll be able to avoid a lot of the traffic. Some of those horses on the inside are going to encounter. I think he's got a great shot. The Sixth Commandment, all he does is win races. He's going to come closing at the end. Renegade is, probably had the most impressive Derby prep in the Arkansas Derby, owned by Mike Rapoli, trained by Todd Pletcher. And the important thing on Renegade, Irad Ortiz, who's been the top jockey the last 4 or 5 years in this country, had a chance to ride 7 or 8 of these horses, and he chose Renegade, right? So that's something to take into consideration.
All right, Rob. We'll enjoy the run for the roses. Thanks again for coming on the show and breaking it down.
My pleasure, anytime.